What's up, guys? Evan from Stock Music Musician, and today I want to do my review of the new player in Reason, the Pattern Mutator. This thing is really cool. I've been using it for about a week now, and I've had a lot of fun with it. It is both an inspirational tool for coming up with new ideas, and I also think it's a really powerful kind of hybrid between an arpeggiator and maybe something else that lets you kind of transpose ideas around a little bit and see where they might sound better or quickly develop arrangement. Before we go any farther into the review, though, I do want to invite you to leave your thoughts on the Pattern Mutator. When I did a release video on this, I know a lot of you guys had some very strong opinions, ranging from this is the coolest thing ever to I don't get it. This is just a replacement for not having any talent. Others of you guys thought it was overpriced. In this video, I'm going to share my thoughts, but if you have any other ideas about, what you would do with a Pattern Mutator or why you will or won't buy it, just leave it below. Let's cue the intro. All right. Before we go farther, though, I do want to let you know that I've got a free new Reason mastering template. Basically, you just drop in your song, and it's got everything set up using only stock plugins in Reason, so you can quickly dial in a loud, powerful master sound with wide stereo images and do multi-band compression and all of that stuff. There's a link to download it below for free. All right, now let's talk about the Pattern Mutator. What is it? Well, basically it's a player, which means you have to connect it to a instrument here by placing it on top of it, and then it controls that instrument's MIDI. You can then play in a pattern, and let me show you how all of this works as a matter of fact. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an instrument, and we will create an XT. Why not? We'll solo it so that we don't hear what else I have going on in there. Right on top of it. And so by default, if we hit play, nothing's going to happen. If I were to hit a chord on the piano, I got the piano chords, but the sequencer isn't doing anything. So first what we have to do with Pattern Mutator is actually play in a chord. And you can either just directly record it by hitting the record, or you can do step record, which I think is kind of more helpful. You'll have the individual steps here and the length of the pattern. So we can just go like... 4-bar simple chord progression. It's not being played live, it's being played by step. You could also add rests or ties, or we could go and delete some notes. But we can turn record off, and now if we hit run, that's not going to get old, is it? But what we can do is here then adjust the rate, add some shuffle, even adjust the rate. Mildly interesting. We've got a transpose function here, so if I hit another note, just moved it up an octave. You can see how you can sort of quickly do some interesting things. You also have different playback modes. So with this one, I have to have Reason actually playing, but now it'll only play when I hit a note. So that's the basics of it. But the fun comes when you hit this Mutate button, and instead you get alternate patterns. Let's put it into automatic mode again. And we'll just speed it up so we can hear it faster. But let's say we don't like that pattern. Let's try mutating it again. We'll swap the order of the notes around and their density, make the notes a little longer and louder. And maybe also, mutate the amount of octave and pitch mutation. We could do none, so it would be the same notes, just maybe in a different order, or massively. And now let's hit the mutate. And see what happens. close. Let's see another mutation. And that's pretty cool, but we can also shift the order. So now the note that was playing third is now playing first. And let's see what that sounds like. And if we like that, then we can go ahead and copy it to one of the patterns as just a regular pattern here. Adjust the gate length. So you can see how this can be a really fun and inspiring way of coming up with new ideas or of transposing existing ideas. So now I'm going to go back to just show you some more demos, and then I'll start talking about some of the features, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and whether or not I think you should buy it. So let's select this one here. And we actually have to select the underlying instrument. So you see how this can be a fun way of kind of doing interesting arpeggios that works better than it would in the chord mode. And especially if you like modulating filters. That's another way. You can copy it to the track and then tweak it. So I think you've got most of the main features you need to tweak your track. I do kind of miss that there's not a way to play a pattern forwards and back like you would see in some of the other players. For example, if we were to drum sequencer, you have the ability to, when it gets to do pendulum mode, basically, when it gets to the end of the pattern, it goes back. And I think the arpeggiator also has that. So that would be kind of fun to have if you're doing an arpeggio. The other thing is you can't really directly edit the patterns. Like if there's just one wrong note and you want it to change it, you can't adjust it with that level of detail, but you can always just record it to the track and mix it up there. By and large, I think these are all the features that I would love to have in this type of device, and I was really surprised at how much I enjoy having this device, both from kind of an interesting inspiration perspective and from just making life easier if you want to modulate things quickly and easily and mix up the patterns. To get the most out of it, you'll definitely need to come up with some combinations where you have some of these features mapped to different parameters in the combinator so that, you know, as patterns change, maybe filter envelopes change on your synth and you really get the most out of it. This thing is also super cool if you want to use it to start triggering samples. Like, right here, we've got it just choosing different slices of the sample. Which can be a really cool way of just chopping things up for your sample. You know, we could then get another mutation, and I don't think I'd play that. It's fun. One thing to note also is that, you know, this doesn't stick in scale, so you might want to combine it with other players like scales and chords, you know, if you need to make sure that everything stays within a key. Although it would kind of be nice to have that feature just built in here as opposed to having to stack it, but you can stack it. You just turn off the chords section and filter the notes, and so that's cool. There's also a ton of great CV options from, you know, a lot of the outputs from the gate to the note. You also can do the tied gate and the accented gate outputs, which really, you know, can let you trigger cool things, the filters or whatever. And then also a random CV out and two of them. So all in all, I think in terms of features, it's great. And surprisingly, you know, it's fun to use. It's something I wouldn't think I would like, but really I've really enjoyed using it. But the big problem, I think, is value. First of all, I think all of us are starting to feel that Reason 11 is getting to the end of its development cycle. Maybe, it's not time to buy Reason 11 or upgrade to it. They just had it on sale for Black Friday. But Reason 12 has to be somewhere around the corner. And I can't help but thinking that the Pattern Mutator is either going to be included as a base instrument in Reason 12 standard, or certainly part of what is included in the Reason 12 suite. And so, should you pay to upgrade it now, or pay to purchase this plugin now when you might be getting it bundled for free with a future version of Reason? If you think you might really use it, then yeah, go ahead. But for some of us, it might just be better to wait. And when we get it bundled, we'll make a lot of use out of it. I like it much more than Beatmap and find it like a very compelling plugin. On top of that, if you did want to buy Pattern Mutator today, they sell it for $69. And to me, that seems like a very steep price for this. Is it great? Yeah. I think for what it does, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It's a really cool and fun tool to have in your arsenal, and it lets you come up with great ideas, and it works really cool with other players in Reason, and it's just a great device overall. But it's not a $69 device. I think your $69 could go much farther in the music world, from, buying contact libraries to buying other rack extensions. I mean, you can buy Reason Intro for $99, and this is not like nearly as good as Reason 11 Intro. So I'm conflicted. I really recommend this plugin, but I don't recommend buying it for $69. But what do you think? Leave your comments down below, and I'd be happy to respond to anything that you've got. Can't wait to hear what you're thinking, and don't forget to download your free mastering cheat sheet. Thanks so much for watching.